Ben, welcome to Derbyshire.
Thank you very much.
What are your first impressions of the club, having been here for a day or so now?
No, I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, obviously I've been to this club quite a few times, not only as a player but as a coach. And it was just nice to be welcomed the way I've been welcomed. Mickey Arthur welcomed me in this morning, and I've got to see some of the players, and we've had a good skills session today. So it's been really good, and it's encouraging signs. I've worked with the players, got to sort of like start the relationships and start connecting with some of the batters.
Yeah, it's early days, of course. You've only had the one session, but what have you made of the players you've worked with so far?
Yeah, well, they're very, very driven. They want to succeed and do well, and they've obviously worked really hard this winter. I know I've come in slightly later in the piece, but it sounds as though the work they've done has been very thorough, and it's going to hold them in good stead for the next block we're going to be going through now. Yeah.
Yeah, and you join a coaching staff that includes Mickey Arthur, Ajmal Shazad, Chris Heighton, Alex Hughes. I mean, how great is it for you to be able to come in here, and then what can you bring to complement that? Yeah,
so these guys have done fantastic work with the players already this winter. I think my experience, and not just as a coach but as a player, will hold me in good stead with these guys. The players are mature. They're actually quite I would say, an experienced group. Maybe one or two younger players that just complement that. So I don't think that sort of experience is going to be like too testing on them, but I think the good thing about it is they look a very open group that are quite willing to challenge each other and be very open with their communication and what they talk about the game.
Yeah, and you've been away, you've been out in New Zealand with Central Stags. What was that like as an experience?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. It's not my first time there. I had a couple of stints as an assistant and as an interim coach. I actually played for the Central Stags in 2000 for a couple of years, and so I've got a bit of a history with them. And not only that, they I make no secrets that I love the country. It's a fantastic country, and I think the way that their national team provides players of the ability they're at, it really is kudos to New Zealand, especially with the small population they've got. So I've thoroughly enjoyed being there and working with the Central Stags in their domestic T20 competition.
Yeah, and then I suppose being able to work overseas, does that maybe give you a different perspective and on things like coaching techniques and what's working abroad that you can then bring back here?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think I took a couple of things over from my experience in this country over there, but then 100%. And I think in a role as a head coach as well, I felt that a lot of the sort of like work I'd done before, experiences and knowledge I'd had imparted in my specialism coach as a batting coach or assistant coach role I've had previously at different places. But I was able to then put all that together as a head coach, and I think that does draw from that. It was great. I mean, the association of central districts is logistically challenged. I mean, it spreads over two different islands. So the players, again, the culture is outstanding, and it's something that I think is huge in cricket now, is the culture of not only the dressing room but of the whole playing squad and also the club.
Yeah, and then bringing it back to Derbyshire, we've got a couple of months now till the start of the season.
Yeah,
like you say, you've arrived slightly later than you might have expected, but the players are already in quite a good place.
Yeah.
So what will you be focusing on over the next 2 months to get them ready for that first game in the season?
Well, I think that's exactly right. It's having the players having an ownership of their red ball game, because obviously that's the first competitive format we go into, but also still making sure we tick the boxes and get our heads around playing white ball cricket. So there'll be a mixture of white ball and red ball sessions that we'll do in the next couple of weeks. I think then as we get closer to that April the 5th date, we'll then go into a lot more red ball training. We're going into some combat sessions now, so we're bat versus ball. We're using different facilities, so there's a stimulus change there for the players, which I think is also important, rather than just doing the same thing pretty much week on week. So I think what I'm doing now is I'm starting to get to know the players, connecting with them, like I said earlier, and just making sure that whatever I can bring, I bring in, and it's not just a rush job. I can just drip it in over the next month or two before that first game of the season.
Yeah, and then lastly, coming in, you've obviously spoken to Mickey quite a lot.
Yeah.
But what has he said about the ambitions for the season moving forward?
Yeah, Mickey's been very ambitious, and what he said, he's very ambitious. We're here to win, first and foremost. I think we also want to have a good time and enjoy it along the way, but also work hard. So I think with whichever order you look at, why you play the game, I think working hard, enjoying it, and being here to win are the most important. But ultimately, his ambition is to be a successful team and win on the field.
Ben, thank you.